Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Dubbing. Welcome you to another Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinion and Hot Take. So earlier in the playlist, I talked about how Snake potentially, may have been influenced by a lot of people about, giving people special powers and then just punishing those who weren't. I talked about it in a sense when I talked about how in season 10, during Vegas night, how Simpson basically cracked down, and a lot of people thought that Simpson was too harsh with people. And I basically said that the school board was going to take his job away, and Simpson needed a way to keep his job, even though that, it wasn't true. And a lot of the pressure was based off of Audra Torres, who basically did it, I think, in a sense, because Simpson didn't take Drew's hazing that well, and also for not giving Adam proper clearance and all that for his transgender issues. So it might be a way to get back at Simpson for that. And then Simpson cracked down, and then everyone was happy. But then, they did the the post-it notes on his car, and he's upset. But then he tells Shantae, "That's understandable, but you got to pay the price, as in everything will come back, but you better behave yourselves." And they do. Regardless, I also talked about how Snake may have bent over backwards for Mayor Hollingsworth because he's scared that if he doesn't give Hollingsworth and his kids proper things, then Hollingsworth would take it as an offense and basically strip the school board or Degrassi of stuff, and maybe, just maybe, Simpson would have lost his job. So I made a Degrassi post a long time ago, about 10 days ago. And for context, it's being taped on September 10th, 2021. And I said, troubling talk about Snake's issues with the Hollingsworth kids. I said, all three Hollingsworth kids have done bad stuff in Degrassi, and yet they seem to not get expelled / suspended for their actions. Miles burns the school in season 14. Hunter goes after Maya after the gaming club fiasco in season 15, and Freddie gets herself into a racist plot in season 16, overdrawing Nervin Tech's co-captains as gorillas. These should be suspendable actions at best and expulsions at worst, especially Hunter, but yet they face little recourse, and of course the school struck back over Frankie in season 16. Not so much for the other two. That's where me and a possible unpopular opinion comes in. I feel that Simpson in all three cases, maybe the school board in Miles' case, didn't want to severely punish the Hollingsworth kids because of Mayor Hollingsworth and potential backlash at the school board / Simpson, as he may have power to take away stuff from Degrassi for not bowing down at him. Obviously, I'm not going to, I didn't in the post make another analogy, and that would be work. It made Simpson suck up to people, and that's not the Snake I thought he would be. Especially after sucking up to Audra in season 10 after Drew's hazing, and so he's folks in season 13 after Maya's innocent song, even though she was cyberbullied. Am I missing something here? Well, one person said, "What did Miles do?" And I said, he was mad at his dad in season 14 when he came to Degrassi for an election stop. He was so mad he burnt a picture of his dad, and the fire spread to parts of the school. He actually was going to be put in private school, but for some reason he went back to Degrassi. And all that. I'll talk about the three storylines in depth. But anyway, Blue said, I also feel the show was unwilling to write suspensions and stuff in because it reduced time characters had together to create drama. However, I would like to add to your fury that he also gave specialty treatment to Zoe since she was a famous celeb. Hence why Maya got in trouble in the cyberbullying plot. And why she got lunch treated with no suspension for pimping out the Power Squad during Degrassi News. Because Allie had both a cyberbullying plot and a child pornography plot and was given suspension for cyberbullying. And wasn't able to be punished for CP because her parents pulled her out of school. I didn't get the last statement, but anyway, yeah. So here's what the simplicity of things is. So in season 14, Miles was upset about his dad. His dad did beat him and all that. And he was upset that his dad would try to go to Degrassi and promised Degrassi a new wing and all that. It's like, Degrassi isn't suffering that badly, are they? So, and a lot of people would probably say that it's illegal because it's nepotism. Like, his 3 kids go to that school and he's pumping money into Degrassi. Kind of suspicious, don't you think? Yeah, I think so too. But anyhow, yeah, I feel like Mayor Hollingsworth was not that great and all that in the Degrassi universe. And it's strange how Frankie and Hunter helped Miles stand up to him because of Mr. Hollingsworth's anger towards Miles. And then he still wins the election for some reason. I don't know why, but I think he promised a lot of things and people took him at his word. So the fact of the matter is that, Miles was about to go to boarding school, but for some reason he didn't. I think that Hollingsworth wanted to keep Miles at Degrassi. I think Miles convinced him to stay at Degrassi. But I also think that he needed Miles in because then he could use the nepotism power. With his 3 kids going to Degrassi, he figures that, he can always add pressure to the school board and the Simpson to make sure that his 3 kids are taken good care of. Of course, Hunter in season 15 was a major storyline that was hard pressed. Hunter wanted to make a gaming club and made a good game and all that, but unfortunately, the feminist group led by Maya and Goldie said that there's you shoot like these female characters and all that, but Miles says that's how the designer did it. It's his goof. We can fix it. And then the feminists basically shut down the gaming club because they have power and all that. And a lot of people said that Goldie had all these feminist powers and all that, and just basically used Maya as a mouthpiece because Maya Maya would be perfect for helping them out with their feminist cause. And that unfortunately got Maya targeted by Hunter, who decides to take a gun to the school and try to sneak into a side entrance to go after Maya. However, Miles does figure things out and cuts him off at the pass. Simpson then cuts Hunter off and basically tells Hunter that bringing a gun to school is not the best solution. I know he didn't bring out the Chloe Tanner thing, but he basically said about Rick being so upset with being painted and feathered that he decides, for revenge, he decides to try to shoot somebody, and he shot Jimmy and nearly killed his stepdaughter. That's in Snake's stepdaughter. Hunter is put into a mental institute for a while, and he's out of it. And then all of a sudden, it's like poof, he's at Degrassi, and people were like, "Why is Hunter still at Degrassi?" And it got me thinking, it's like, under any circumstance, Hunter would be expelled, and Hunter would never be allowed near Degrassi ever again because he almost brought a gun to school for revenge. And then, of course, it gets me thinking, it's like, well, his dad's Mayor Hollingsworth. I bet dollars to donuts Mayor Hollingsworth said something to the school board and to Simpson about this, and they had to bring Hunter back. I mean, Hunter wasn't the best character. I mean, he had to deal with Yale's non-binary stuff. And Hunter just dumped Miguel off. I know that it's basically Hunter was being transphobic, but Hunter wanted to be with a girl. He liked girls. And Yale didn't give him a straight answer. If Yale had given him a straight answer that, yes, I'm a girl, Hunter's like, great. But if Yale says I'm a guy, I'm like, well, you know what? This isn't going to work. But yeah, it made Hunter look like a bad guy. But I think Hunter, in a sense, may be thinking that he's a Hollingsworth. He can get back his detractors. I don't know. And then, of course, season 16 with Frankie and the racist poster. It's like Frankie didn't mean to make it racist, but Frankie didn't help her cause by making some statements that didn't make sense. She tried her best to fix the situation, but it just wasn't it. One of the biggest steps Frankie didn't take was owning up to it and basically admitting her mistakes and trying to grow from them. It just didn't make sense. And then it took the Throwback Thursday thing for Frankie to leave school with Jonah. She almost gets accosted by someone on the side of the road, and then she realizes, oh my God, I'm racist and all that. And then she finally decides to come clean with everything, and the volleyball team forgives her and puts her back on the team. I think, in a sense, also a way to get rid of Irvin Tech because they had to play that game again. They got forfeited, and I feel that there was an underlining thing to attacking Frankie for the racist poster, and because Simpson didn't do anything. He suspends Tiny for 5 days for protecting Lola and Shay from trouble, and yet Frankie just gets kicked off the volleyball team, no repercussions, no nothing. And Simpson says that Frankie's kicked off the volleyball team, that's good enough. Not really. So Simpson, maybe is a weenie in a sense. But it also adds to the fury that, with the Hollingsworth kids, it's like he's afraid to piss off the Hollingsworths so badly that he could be ruined. And it gets to the point that, being principal is not the best situation for Simpson or Radich because they both were beloved teachers, but when they became principals, they became a little bit jaded and less likable. I mean, I understand that you have to draw the line at liking your students, but the students aren't happy with Snake. They figure that Snake was an idiot. And, like, why would he do this? So, throwback Thursday, they said that Snake needs to talk about things. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. Like, Snake was basically an antagonist in a sense. They basically think that Snake. I thought that Snake basically put Tristan into trying to block things because, of this whole thing, saying, I don't want my gala being broken and all that. But I think it's a Hollingsworth thing, too. I mean, think about it. And in that post I said about Zoe in season 14 being lucky she didn't get in trouble, it wasn't Snake who did that punishment. It was the judges and all that. And Snake wasn't there when Zoe had to serve detention lunch duty and all that. That was Pill. So yeah. So anyway, that is all I've got for this video. Kind of a hot button topic, but it is something that has to be talked about. So anyway.